Best Free Android Apps of 2017, Part 3. 21 Tinycards. Tinycards, from the makers of Duolingo, has taken a long time making the jump from iOS to Android, but it's finally arrived, and is set to give you another way to improve your language skills. Link it up to your Duolingo account and then Tinycards will give you a selection of flashcards based around the words and languages you're already learning. These will sometimes take the form of a picture, in which case you have to say what it's a picture of in the relevant language. Other times the card will show a word or phrase in the language you're learning, which you're to translate to English, or the phrase will be shown in English, in which case you're tasked with translating it to a foreign language. Like the main Duolingo app, answers are sometimes multiple choice, while other times they must be typed, and you can unlock new sets of flashcards as you progress. 22 Raccoon. Got 60 seconds to kill? Raccoon could be an enjoyable way to do it. Not just a cute woodland creature, Raccoon is also now an app where people post 60-second videos of them telling a story from their life, or talking about an experience. These are sorted into categories, such as travel and work, and theoretically the stories will all be interesting, funny, or inspiring. Of course, as anyone can add a video, the quality varies, but you can find the best by choosing featured videos or looking out for those with a lot of likes. That's half of Raccoon. The other half is posting your own 60-second video. If you have a specific story to tell, you can just hit record and start talking, or if you need inspiration you can select an option that asks you a question or gives you a nudge, such as share an interesting fashion story from your life, and then hit record if you're up to the challenge. It's a fun way to hear or share bite-sized stories, and while content is currently a bit limited, if Raccoon takes off there should soon be no shortage of stories to choose from. 23 Phonograph Music Player. While many of us have moved to streaming music, there is still a place for locally stored music on Android, and Phonograph is one of the better players. Phonograph puts aesthetics and ease of use first, so it's always pleasant to operate. The app has a material design look that fits with Google's vision of Android, but it's also packed full of album art and color, so there's never a dull screen. You can also customize the colors and overall theme and look of the app, while the color of the main now playing screen will change based on the album artwork of the current track. The layout is simple too, with your music library sorted by song, album, artist, or playlist, and you can switch between views with a swipe, while most other options are no more than a tap away. 24 Adapt Icons. There are plenty of icon packs available to help you change up your app icons, but what if you want a bit more control, or just want to tweak rather than replacing an icon? That's where Adapt Icons comes in. The app lets you create or adapt your own icons, picking first the icon that you want to customize, then choosing from a variety of shapes and colors, changing the size and rotation, and even optionally changing the text displayed under it, which could be handy if, for example, you know an app by a different name than what it's listed as. Although you can get Adapt Icons for free, you might want to splash out on the $0.99/$0.99 IAP if you plan to customize a lot of icons. As this unlocks loads more shapes, lets you import icons from your gallery, gets rid of adverts and lets you customize more than one icon at a time. 25 Street Hunt. If you're looking for an incentive to get out and walk more, then Street Hunt could be just the thing. Choose a distance from your location and then Street Hunt will give you a target to reach that's roughly that far away. The twist is that it doesn't tell you the address or directions, it simply gives you a Google Street View image of it. From there you've got to either work it out from the photo or simply start walking, at which point Street Hunt will tell you whether you're getting closer or further away. You can see approximately how far you are away from the destination using an indicator on your lock screen, so you don't have to keep opening the app. And you can also get periodic vibration cues, with a single vibration telling you you're getting closer, while 2 mean you're moving further away from your target. Completing a hunt gets you points, and leaderboards let the competitive among you compare their score with friends or the world at large. 26 Travel Light. Like a digital version of a scratch map, Travel Light lets you tell the app which countries you've been to and then see them highlighted on a map of the world. There are statistics to go with it, saying what percentage of each continent and the world as a whole you've traveled to, and there's a journal component, so you can log your adventures with text, a date, and optionally a photo. That component doesn't feel as fully featured as some other journaling apps, but there's something appealing about seeing an ever-growing map of the places you've been, and the app is easy to use, letting you see a long list of countries and simply tap the ones you've been to. There's not a huge amount to it, but for free, Travel Light is well worth a look for anyone who's seen much of the world, or wants to see more. 27 Caffeine. One screen timeout duration does not necessarily fit all situations. For example, if you're reading an article, you might want a longer timeout than normal, so you don't have to keep tapping the screen to stop it going dark. Yet timeout controls are often hidden away in submenus of the settings screen, so regularly changing the duration can be a bit fiddly. Not with Caffeine though. This app adds a quick settings tile to your notifications pull down, which you can tap to change the timeout duration. One tap will set it to 5 minutes, a second to 10, a third tap makes the timeout 30 minutes, a fourth disables screen timeout altogether, and a fifth disables caffeine. Caffeine even displays a handy countdown next to its tile of how long until your screen will shut off. It's simple. So simple in fact that Caffeine doesn't even have an app icon. To launch it, you instead long press on the quick settings tile, but all that gives you is instructions for using it and the option to uninstall. 28 Radiate. Festivals can be sociable places, and Radiate helps facilitate that by putting you in touch with other people going to the same festival as you. Select the festival you're attending and you can access a forum dedicated to it, where people chat and arrange meets and lift shares. There's also a Tinder-like component where you can swipe over pictures of fellow festival attendees to say whether or not you want to chat with them, and if you both say yes, a private chat opens. So whether you're braving a festival on your own or just want to meet some new people while you're there, Radiate can help, and it's got a large selection of festivals in both Europe and the US. Radiate also has festival information, including line UPS and maps, but nothing you won't find elsewhere. Really, it's all about the social side. 29 Baldomatic. Referred to as the Instagram of text, Baldomatic is a social network of sorts, where you can post a sentence or two and send it out into the world. These tend to be a mix of original statements and poetry, along with quotes from other people, so it's more about creativity and inspiration than sharing the sorts of thoughts and feelings you might on Twitter or Whisper. But really, you can write whatever you want. You can stay anonymous or not, get comments on your posts and follow, like and comment on other users' posts. You can also send direct messages, and cross-post your content to other social networks such as Facebook and Tumblr from within the app. Baldomatic is an app that in some ways is hard to pin down. Some writers aim to offend with their posts, others to make you laugh or think, but it's easy to find just the good stuff by filtering by what's popular. 30 Offline Survival Manual. Offline Survival Manual is a comprehensive guide to everything you need to know when you're in the wilderness. And it's saved offline. So you'll actually be able to access it in the middle of the forest/desert/jungle/your garden. From skills, such as how to start a fire or build a shelter, to helpful advice, such as where to look for water in various environments and which plants are poisonous, it's all covered. On top of that is information, the things you should take with you in certain places and how to deal with different types of weather or hazards, such as crossing a river, so most things you might want to know are covered. There's loads more besides, split into various categories which you can jump between with a tap, and as there's everything from the basics to more advanced things, Offline Survival Manual is a guide for everyone. It's also completely free. There is a lack of Polish in some of the presentation, typos and long walls of text for example, with few images to break it up in many sections. Then of course there's the fact that having a survival manual on a device that can run out of battery may not be the best idea, so you might want to bring a paper guide too.